away beautifully. Nice way to get going.
Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnek here talking to you about day 4. Yes, day 4 of the test between India and South Africa. Of course, as far as the Australia-England test series is concerned, after 3 tests, Australia are leading 3-0 and quite comprehensively have wrapped up the so-called Ashes, or not wrapped up only, but regained the Ashes. Well, actually, not even regained, that's not correct. They've actually retained, not regained, but retained the Ashes. Australia are looking at the last 2 test matches starting in Sydney next Wednesday, a week from today, and then a few days later, the 5th test will be in Hobart in Tasmania. So effectively, we will have an amazing situation where Australia could win 5-0, quite potentially. Looking at the highlights here of South Africa, they at one stage were 5 for 120. They did recover somewhat, not a great deal. They moved to 197 all out, giving themselves 130 runs deficit on the first innings. And with the South African team looking quite in the doldrums, to be very, very, very honest with you. Weather now, it looks like there might be a pitch condition situation. We'll have a look at that. But yeah, the reality is that there's certainly been a fair bit of, how can I describe it? Disappointment with the South Africans. But I did actually say, and I'm going to be a bit smug here and talk in terms of, I did say around 200, and they actually got 197. I feared that South Africa's being like would be frail, especially when they lost Dean Elgar so early on. It was pretty obvious to me that they had some issues with, the whole batting lineups saga. And yeah, it's not a good situation to be in for South Africa. They've distinctly lost a lot of their players, like Faf du Plessis, Hashim Amla. They've lost Aby de Villiers. They've lost, and also Norgé's not in the test match today as well. They certainly are down on troops, if that's the way of putting it. But they did take 1 wicket. They did actually take the wicket of Agarwal early in the innings, and India now 1 for 16, with Shailul Thakur acting as a night watchman. He hit a 4, and Marco Jansen took another one of his, well, he's taken now 2 wickets, one on the last wicket of the first innings and now the first wicket of the second innings. Mohammad Shami bowled particularly well, took another 5-fer, looked great. There was some scare about Bumrah with his sprained ankle, the right ankle that is, and it looks as though later reports that he's okay, so that's good. Who will win to test India or South Africa? Well, South Africa are not going to win this test match. India are the main hope. Hello, Paul Newman, how are you? And Gaming with Puranjay is also here. The reality is South Africa have got it all to do now. If India already how many are they in front? 46 in front. And if they continue the way they are, they could be between 250 and 300 in front very, very quickly. And that should see more than enough runs for South Africa to be bowled out for. I can't see South Africa getting 300 in the second innings. They got 197 in the first. They won't get any more than that in the second. After 36 all out, Michael Vaughan was after India. They will lose 4-0. He should focus on what his country is doing in the Ashes. Safik Bagari, correct. He's been blowing his trumpet a bit and saying that no one would get a low score like 92, I think he said. And then now look at his own team, got 68. So, yeah, not much chop there. Ravada was quite lucky in his innings. Jansen had a bit of a splay as well. It was 7-1 for 160 at one stage, but they ended up being 197. That's probably more than they probably deserved, to be honest. DSC certainly is the batting. So while we're talking, Brisbane Sydney Sixers versus Brisbane Heat's going on. I think that's in Brisbane. And we've got the Heat 4 for 27. I'm not really interested as much as I should be in the Big Bash League this year. I wasn't that interested in the women's Big Bash as well. So, yeah, that's my will there be sufficient time? Will be sufficient on. Yeah, I think that can you be on a hat trick if you take a wicket on last ball, the first innings, and first ball, the second. Yes, you can. It's when you bowl, you can bowl 3 consecutive deliveries, no matter what innings it is. 3 innings, and that's the way it happens. So anything between 253 will be enough. Yeah. Heats and trouble certainly are going, RJ. But look, South Africa will not get 300 in the last innings. They go 197 the first. As long as Mohamed Shami's on deck, which he is, even Shadul Thakur, and they've got the likes of obviously Bumrah fit. Ashwin didn't play much of a role, but he might play more of a role in the second innings. But you would argue that's a pretty distinctive situation for the Indians. Shadul Thakur, once again, has bowled well. Very underrated. His bowling has been superb. Absolutely superb. And he's batting. Now he's just gone on first drop as a night watchman. I think he could get a few runs. He's going to be going for it. Capable of 50 or 60 runs very, very quickly indeed. So, yeah, that's on the cards for sure. So, Shadul Thakur, great inclusion in the side. He really is a true all-rounder. And gives, and the place, well, of course, with Jadeja not available, he would have been a natural selection as all-rounder. Thakur's a great foil for him. So was Akshar Patel in the bowling department as well. So Rishabh Pant's keeping. He's taken 100 dismissals now. Quickest to that mark for India, which is a great achievement. But his batting's a bit woeful at the moment. Will Kohli get his century today? Probably not. Pauline says, look, you just don't know. He's due. He's really, really due. So there we have a slashing cut shot there. 8 for 140. 8-1. Maharaj certainly went for it towards the end. 8 for 188. The highlights are showing with Rabada. They didn't last much longer, did they? They only lasted another 9 runs, so it's not much of a lead at all. Waiting on David Graveney to come here. There's been a lot of flack from the England camp. I actually think they're going to go very close to keeping the same side as per what David Graveney said. They'll probably keep Bairstow and Crawley in the side, having picked them only last game. The bowling department, Leach may still stay and Mark Wood will stay. Whether they'll bring Broad in will be interesting. I think they should, but they may not. If they do, they may have to release Ollie Robertson. When is Kohli's last century? Oh, Jesus. At least 2 years. At least 2 years. Which for Kohli is quite a period of time. He scored 27 centuries, mind you, but he's been about 2 years. You got to give him some slack. He got 35 in the first innings and looked good. Perhaps has to let those wider balls go. But yeah, I think it's 2 years. Someone look up exactly when it was 2 years ago. This is day 4. We missed an entire day 2. We're still in a pretty good position here to get a result. I don't think India will be able to bat any longer than Shami's taken another wicket. In fact, he's 5 for the 9 for 193. That was the wicket of Rabada. Beautiful bowling from Shami. Great line length and took the edge. Shami, great bowler he is. Anderson will be rested. You think probably? Well, it could be. It could well be rested. After 2015 World Cup, England have focused too much on white ball cricket. Yeah, they have focused less on red ball. What do you say? Please answer. I would argue that's exactly right. As David Graveney talked about that yesterday, in fact, that they need to balance that reliance on white ball and red ball. With the World Cup happening again here in Australia later this year, it's still on the focus of the players, but I think you'll find that there'll be more red ball oriented from now on. Maharaj just smacked the ball there, which is from yesterday. The Guinea's not out north, so that's 197. So that's it for them, isn't it? The wicket should fall now. And Bumrah came back on toward. That's good sign. Bumrah came back on towards the end of the innings, so he was capable of bowling at the end of the innings, which means he should be able to bowl today. Well, at least when needed. He's not needed yet. Virat has equal 50 and hundreds in tests. That's right, with 27. That's very much right. 27 50s. Great conversion rate, to be honest. There he is. He was caught there, the deep and the fly slip position. So yeah, that's and so Boomer took that last wicket, and Boomer smiling from ear to ear. Clearly, he's happy. So, with Rahul not at 5 and Tucker not at 4, we've got Marco Jensen and Rabada, the ones who were bowling last night. South Africa, very disappointed at 197, and I predicted it. I actually said 200. So there you go. Didn't I? Quick talk from Manchester Chatter. I actually said 200. People didn't think that, but I thought so. Smith hasn't scored a century for a long time as well. Well, look, for Smith standards, yes. Margo, high backlift stance is not good for red ball cricket. He should change his stance. I'm not too convinced of that, but I think he's still a great player. What, according to you, is going wrong with the moment in English cricket? Okay. Last time for Virat was on the 23rd of November 2019, which is just over 2 years ago. Correct. Now, where was that? That was not Australia. What's going wrong with English cricket? First and foremost, it's the selection process. And David Gravely joins us shortly, which he will, when he wakes up. It's getting close to 8 o'clock, 7:42 in the morning in England. Well, the reason being is stability at the top of the order. Yes, definitely. The mishaps with Rory Burns and the like and Hamid, they need a steady opening partnership. I think Zach Crawley and Milan will help, and they'll get better. Over-reliance on Root as batter has certainly been the case. The lack of bowling or lack of exposure for Ben Stokes leading in this series. Losing Jofra Archer was not much fun. The slow aging of Anderson and Broad's not helping. But the reality is it's their selection process. They don't have a chairman of selectors in England at all now. They have not. David Graveny, who we know was on the show, was on yesterday. He was the head of selectors, chairman of selectors. You need a separate selection panel to operate that side. Ashley Giles has made the decision not to have that, and he operates with a coach, Chris Silverwood, and I guess Root as being in the form of selectors. They have so-called scouts floating around England Lions and England A, whatever teams they've got, and I don't think they'll be listened to. Someone will also vouch for this. He's a former high-performance coach. The reality is they need a separate selection panel. It's too much pressure for Chris Silverwood. He's a very, very good coach, but I don't think he's a selector as well as a coach. So they place too much emphasis on that, and that separation of duties is where they've got another problem. And they probably haven't concentrated on the red ball in the last year or two, more on the white ball or the short format. After the time of Alistair Cook, England has declined in Test cricket. What do you say? Yeah, they certainly have. Alistair Cook was a significant leader. Well, so was Joe Root. But Alistair Cook's led from the front, led with his batting, so does Root. But you need support around him. He had Strauss, he had Trott, Bell, even Stokes in the early stages of his career. We're all there. Now, Bairstow to me is a key to continue to have playing. Crawley and Milan can certainly shore that up as well, and I think you'll find that will be the way it'll go. I think that's where their strength will lie. Bowling-wise, they've got to work out what they're doing with Anderson and Broad. Ollie Robinson just doesn't seem to quite have it at the moment. Well, the potential's there. Mark Wood is going to be on the paddock to bowl. And once again, their bowling, as in their spin bowlers, seem to be a little bit thin on, with Leach doing quite well, but not that well. And Don Best not quite performing either, so we're not having a chance to perform. So there's certainly a lack of an overall balance on the side. Ben Stokes was the key. He's taken a while. He hasn't got his real punch going. He's been fairly depressed, so that may be part of the reason as well. No hope on India 3-4-5. India's batting will suffer without Jadeja. Yeah, they're still. I don't know. I wouldn't be so dismissive of India's performance. They still got 327, and so they're only at 197. So I think they're batting like Shreyas Iyer, Agarwal, Gill coming back. There's quite a few good players there. England need to bring Cook back. They can't bring him back. He's not going to happen. MR Viner. I'll be in under. Why not include Saqib Mahmood in the English squad? Good bowler. Right. I think you're right. I think he's someone that they need to seriously consider. Yes. He's meant to be a kind of an Anderson replacement, so I think you'll see more of him very shortly. Whereas Sibley was not. Sibley was dropped because he wasn't batting well. Roy is another one that probably should be in the squad. Yes. And Liam Livingston's another all-rounder option they've got as well. Since 16, England handed to 27 players, only 3 average more than 30. It's disgraceful. Stark averages more. They didn't give any player long run and a proper spinner either in the domestic cricket. Tough times ahead. Yeah, they need to get that settled. And it comes down to having a a true selection panel of late, especially. That's a real concern. Now we are looking at Rahul batting with Rahul looks very solid. He's got a magnificent century in the first innings, isn't he? Should India send in a punt earlier today? They've got Tucker there right now, actually. Do you think South Africa can beat Australia in Australia next year? No, I'm not a hope in hell. South Africa are, I think, a severe decline. The bowling line's pretty good. Rabada, Norgay, McGiddy, they're not bad. The batting's just not there, I'm afraid. The batting's just not there. Dean Elgar and Markham are pretty good, but Bavuma and Cock are not enough, and there are other batsmen, I don't even know who they are. Peterson, Van der Dusen, he's been rated high, but they haven't done anything, and they need seniority, they need experience around them to learn. They can't just go from way to go and be good. Joe Root must be embarrassed at these press conferences big time. He must be. But he knows his own personal form has been fantastic. Well, Australia beat India and India over 22 in 4-match test series. I would say no. Why you say Tucker at number 3 and Vera at 5 and punch him, but we want him at 6? Oh, well, it may well happen. We'll wait and see. It's got the opportunity to do really well here today. Satvik Bukhara. Since 2017, Australia have lost 4 test matches at home, all against India. That's right. India, and on that basis, should be slaughtering South Africa. Not just beating them, but absolutely slaughtering them. I think India are the only tough competition for the Australians test at home and overseas. I agree. New Zealand perhaps at home. Australia might end being the best test in Australia. Australia might end with a test in Australia. I'm not getting at it. Well, the World Test Champions could well be between India and Australia next time, if we're looking at current form, because England are certainly not there. New Zealand will be there or thereabouts. But yeah, India certainly will be out there. No one is praising Langer now, but was criticising him till October, not favorable. Well, I don't think Langer's done anything really to take credit, to be honest. He's backed off. He was overly heavy on that, which is actually thwarting him. So him taking himself back off the pressure of the players has helped. That's not based on him being a better coach. I think he's just taken his hands off and said, guys, you go for it, more than the way he was manhandling the side. So I think Langer deserved the criticism he got, and there was great dissension there. He's improved by keeping quiet. Doesn't mean he's deserving praise at this stage. I would doubt that. Lyon bowls well in India. He doesn't bowl too bad. Lyon's pretty good all around the world, really. But they've got 2 series Australia after the Ashes. They're going to Pakistan and Sri Lanka, which will be interesting. I think India will give it all to win against the Aussies at the World Test Championship final. I think India would beat Australia, depending where it's held. But yeah, I think they would. Australia aren't a good enough match for India at this point in time. Even though they've improved, they're looking pretty good at the moment. They've got more bowlers, yes, but this is all at home. They've been atrocious all year away from home, except for the World Cup. Every team getting bashed in Australia at Test matches, only India, Australia. Well, exactly. That says a lot. It says a real lot. Don't forget, India lost the first Test match at Adelaide Oval, all that 36. Then Melbourne, Rahane won the Muller medal, which Boland won as well. Scored a century, and they won that Melbourne Test. Went to Sydney in a very hard-fought battle and pushed out a draw. Then they came home with a wet sail and they beat Australia well at the Gabba. So that was a 2-1, 2-0. After losing the first match, they won 2-0 the next 3 matches. Pretty good. Joe Root's captaincy, I wouldn't say it's bad. Some of his filming decisions, perhaps. One include Moeen Ali, Rashid Ali. I think so. I would prefer to have Moeen Ali here, or for that matter, Rashid Ali. Moeen's retired, that's right. But Rashid Khan, Rashid Ali, I'm not sure which kid's name. He is certainly a worthy bowler. He's certainly a short film bowler. Hello, Norman. We've got no name there. I saw you on Instagram too. Looking at the replay of Mark Agarwal's dismissal last night. Marco Jensen took the wicket. I think it was caught behind. I'm going to show a replay. Marco Jensen's pretty raw. He could go. He's bowled the ball on an off stump. Agarwal has just, oh geez, it must have done a fair bit there, and it's taken the edge. Let's have a look at this. Oh, he's got a bottom edge to the bat there. Very unfortunate dismissal. The ball did not bounce up. It kept low and led to the caught behind there. It was rather lucky dismissal, really. Yeah, Joe Root's still a good captain. I agree. Don't you think Australia not giving chances to deserving players like Khawaja? Yeah, definitely the Khawaja certainly one. Curtis Patterson too. Henry Hunt's a bit young. And Ali Rashid is this white ball specialist, correct. But he doesn't mean he can't bowl spin here. What do you think about a ban Bangladesh versus New Zealand 2-match test series? Well, low key, and New Zealand will do well. Sorry, I think it's Adil Rashid, correct. Well, Adil Rashid, there's no reason why. I'm looking at it. I think that, like Adil Rashid in the short format, Adam Zampa should be our second spinner behind Lyon, and even Glenn Maxwell should be considered for his bowling ability. So I would say those two. Oh, we got looks like an injury there to the cock. He's back on the ground. Yeah, I mean, I think Zampa and Glenn Maxwell should be considered behind, especially for Sri Lanka and Pakistan. I think Zampa and Glenn Maxwell should be considered behind Lyon as opposed to Shrepson. I don't think Shrepson's not quite that good. Will Harris play again? Well, he's Manus Labuschagne has proved himself here in the Ashes. Well, you've got Duck last innings. We'll wait and see if he continues out with that far. Just asking, did you think after India getting all out for those 6, they will bounce back where you were also? Yeah. I think they will. Will Harris play again? Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, I've just said it. But what do you think about Nessa and Richardson, who bowl well in the third? They'll come back, but I think they're going to keep bowling on the side. They may bring one of the Richardson or Nessa back, depending on whether Hazelwood is returning. Yeah, the Agarwal's missile was a very bottom edge top shot. And you shouldn't use the word dropped. People have dropped on bad form. You were rested or someone else is brought in. We will see Nathan Lyon white ball cricket again. Perhaps not. He's not that well. He's just been pigeonholed in Test cricket, which he has to accept. He's taken 400 Test wickets. He has to be accepting of the fact that he's had a pretty blessed Test career, well over 100 Test matches. So he can't be everything. Shane Warne, different story. He was legendary as a spin bowler, but yeah, Nathan Lyon perhaps isn't quite the spinner Zampa's proving himself now. Now we're looking at this Marco Jensen having taken that wicket. So Shardul Thakur and KL Rahul will return 1 for 6 days. So that means there's some 146 in front. And if they get around 300 plus, which hopefully we think sometime in the second session, you'll probably see South Africa bat towards the end of the day, because the last day looks like a could well be washout. I don't watch it. Yeah, and these got Tim Payne has brought good luck to Australia. Well, yes and no. Sydney destroying Brisbane 546 there. Who do you think should be the England openers? Leave Hamid and Crawley there for the moment. India needs to get at least 250. I would say so, probably close to 300, and that'll be in the next 2 sessions. I would pick Zampa over Maxwell. Maxwell isn't a good turner or the ball. I still think he's worthy of being on the side. He does like Sri Lanka. How much will India set targets now? I think between 250 and 300. Tim Payne's going out of the team has brought good luck to Australian team. Perhaps Carey has been almost like for Payne, really. The captaincy of Cummins was timely. Everything's gone his way. Yeah, cricket. I managed to show yes, I've heard that there'll be rain tomorrow, so India need to get runs quickly and get South Africa in the bat. And they're still going to have enough time to win this match, don't worry. South Africa's got no hope. This will definitely be a draw. That's a poor I don't know. I wouldn't quite say. It's not quite that certain. Pujara is completely out of form. Here he is. Pujara shouldn't go next. It should be Punt could go in next and just go crazy. Tuck or Punt are suited to scoring and scoring quickly. Sharmi was bloody brilliant. That's right. Tim Ward deserves a chance. In what position? I'm telling you why you're mentioning Tim Ward. He's not getting much mention in Australia, to be honest. 250 is an underpass score. They need at least 350 to put mental pressure on the Proteas. Well, they haven't got time to score 350. They've got time to score close to 300. Carey was exceptional on his debut at TV. Did he get eight wickets? Now, Tim Ward's not going to open for Australia anyhow. He hasn't been mentioned in their circles just yet. So India lead by 146 runs. So, yeah, I would argue they've probably got enough runs now. Being really truthful, but we won't say it too loud. I think South Africa will go very cheaply in the second innings. They won't score more than 200, put it that way. So India need to blast away and get 100 runs this session, maybe 50 odd the next session, and get them in for a session and a half, take 4 or 5 wickets, and then hopefully there's enough time on the last day to get some play in. Which fast bowling unit is best, India or Australia? Well, Australia and Australia probably are better, but India overall, I think, are better. I'm afraid of another Indian batting collapse. I don't think so. Yeah, but having an average of 57 in Sheffield doesn't mean. So has Khawaja. Khawaja's got an amazing average too. He should be in the side first and be opening. Marcus Harris has survived for the moment. Do you think England are lacking skill on bouncy pitches at lack of application? Yes. Australia's the best pace battery, but India have the best bowling unit. That's a good way of putting it. Dean Elgar, that Peterson, the first drop only looked like he was horrible. Looked completely not the right person. He'll go quickly. Van der Boosten doesn't have a clue. Markham was okay, but not great. And they really clapped. Bavuma and De Kock got some resistance, but Bumrah's injury is, he looks like he bowled last over of the day, so he can't be too bad. Hamid, Burns, and Pope need to play county cricket. Definitely. I think two of them you won't see Pope and Hamid back again. And Crawley will get a Guernsey with Hamid probably for the rest of the series. Tim Payne won't be coming back, not to test level. I think he's resigned to the fact that Kerry's keeping very well and the captaincy issues moved on. So, no, I don't think Tim Payne's coming back. It's his own. He stopped all play, hasn't he? He's out of action from everything, not just Australia, but state and domestic. So that pretty much tells all that. Tim Payne's. Well, he's also well in his late 30s. So, yeah, it was just a sprain. So low orders. So again, well, that's not good enough, is it? Do you think Rahane will get a chance to play next to Test match? Well, he got 48, didn't he? Abhishek Sharma's joined us finally. Hello, amigo. You're now Spanish, eh? So the match should be starting now, if the weather looks good. And I think the weather was reasonable. Let's see where this here live. Let me have day 4. And here we have it. We have Shahil Thakur out in the middle. Looks like bright sunshine. Yeah, it looks like completely bright sunshine. So Australia need to score and score. Not Australia, sorry. India need to score and score quickly. Rabada, Kagisa Rabada, who took 3 for 72 in the first innings and 26 overs with 5 maidens, but in this innings so far he's taken none. It's just started. What is a role of a night watch? Just to basically not allow the good batsman to go in late at night. Pajaro fails in the second innings, also what should come of Shreyas should have been inside in the first place. No one looks like you got a bit of tan. No, it's just the lighting. So the first delivery's just been bowled in what is now the 7th over. I might go back to my little banner. We've got that banner up there. I have to update that now. That's South Africa all out. All out for, were they all out for? They were all out for All that for 197, which I did predict, guys. I think if you remember correctly, I predict. And India now 1 for 18. From what is now into the 7th over. There we go. There we go. So I wrote that right. Rabada coming in for the third delivery. So we have all that 197 and India now 1 for 18 from 7 overs. The lead. Okay. Carey is a better keeper. Inglis is a better batsman. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm not really Sadvik, but I'm not really watching the BBL, so he might want to update us that I'm not watching it. Here is a funny question to you, Norm. What's your real reply to Michael Warren? Who was blaming Indian pitches back? Well, he should never blame pitches because both teams play on the same pitch. Pitches never are an issue. I have no sympathy for Tim Payne. Paul Nimitz says, right? Who was better batsman, Carey or Payne? Carey, probably. Are you enjoying the one-sided dominance shot? I am to an extent, but I prefer seeing India 1 for 22. So Tharun V, after the Ashes, will Payne have a chance to get no. Alex Carey is now the keeper. That's it. And Cummins / I'm afraid Smith are now the captaincy squad. 1 for 22. Wide of the fourth slip there. Runs are runs. The lead's already 152, guys. Well, it's got some extra pace, but yeah, 1 for 22 after what appears to be 7 overs there, guys. Kawaja plays very well on the shade. He's going to be back on the side before too long. I'm pretty sure of that. What's with the heart, love emotions? He likes, obviously, Kawaja. Agreed. Yeah, so now I think Kawaja will come back in. So the Indian side, Agarwal, Rahul, with Rowett and Gill floating around. They've got Pujara, who's got a question mark. Kohli's the captain. Rahane got 48, resurrected somewhat his career. What's target should India set up? Well, they're 150 in front already. At least 250, if not, I would say 300 is sufficient, considering the weather tomorrow. And considering they got them out for 197, the first thing they should expect South Africa to get less than that in the second. Marco Jensen, who's taken 1 wicket in both innings. His test debut, of course. Can Australia defend their title next year? Big question. You mean in the T20 World Cup? Himanshu Sharjah, we're watching a test match. Why are we talking about the T20 World Cup? This is test cricket now. We've got test cricket all over the world. Bangladesh, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Australia, England. Why are we talking about T20 World Cup? That's down the track, and I would argue that's a question to be asked later on. But you'd think they've got a good chance. Do you think India should play 7 batsmen in South Africa? Potentially. Shadul Thakur provides that to me as well. Shadul Thakur is their fortnight batting number 3 in the batting order. He will soon be starting to slog, I can assure you. SUPERSPORT Park, day 4, pavilion end, showing the pitch. It's still a tinge of green in there. The cracks are starting to widen. And it's been a bowler-friendly pitch all the time. The pitch provided no assistance to spinners. Maharaj and Ashwin will take Philip Burnt, especially the latter. Well, yeah, but I think the spinner pace bowling wicket, and we know that you can't have spinners taking all the wickets all the time. But Ashwin could still do some damage on the 5th day if it does have that rain effect. Now, David Graveney said he was going to turn up. I'm not seeing what David Graveney is. No matter whether David's woken up, the man has woken up. India should definitely play 7 batsmen. Okay, but if they've got all-rounders, they're deeming them to be batsmen as well, I guess you are. Most of the Ashwin's wickets are in India. Well, that's not totally true. What was this unusual shot by Tucker? Didn't play a shot. Ashwin's a fantastic bowler. Let's not muck around with that. He's right up there and he's charging faster and faster towards eventually knocking off Kumble. That could well happen. Now, they're reviewing the decision. They're reviewing the decision. He hasn't played a shot. That is Thakur. Marco Jensen was a net bowler, effectively, against Kohli. There we go. Oh, I tell you, it was a lot closer than we think. Can England do in Test cricket what they've done in white ball cricket? Who knows? England are still a good squad. I wouldn't completely be against them. I think that they're getting beaten at the moment because Australia are in Australian conditions. Tucker could well be out here. He hasn't played a shot, and it hasn't quite gone high enough. It may well have hit the stumps. I think he's out. It's pitched in line. It's hit in line, and it's missing the wickets. It's going too high, so the reviewer's been lost. That's unfortunate. It was over the top of the stumps. Let's not forget Ashwin has more centuries than Tim Payne. Yeah, Payne's gone. Let's not worry about Payne. Dean Elgar. It's still up to him to score runs. He's a bit like Joe Root to South Africa. I read an article online saying England not taking red ball game seriously. Your views? I don't think that's true at all. They were perhaps slightly imbalanced with that, but they take it seriously. That's for sure. England have always taken it seriously. Do you think Australia can beat Pakistan and Sri Lanka next year? I would say Sri Lanka more so, but Pakistan, they're going to find it hard against Pakistan in Pakistan. I really think they will. I think they're Australia well short of being the dominating team that they think they are. They've done well in Australia, which they generally do, except for against India. You know, they didn't go near South Africa early in the year. They may well have they would have done worse than if they play South Africa now. Pakistan back at home. I've got my doubts whether Australia will dominate there. Tim Payne won't score another Test because he won't be playing Test cricket. I prefer Axar than Ashwin in South African pitches. Okay. He keeps that straight ball, doesn't he? But look at the totals. India were 327. South Africa 197. You could even see potentially India go for less than 200 here. It won't matter because if they get 160, 170, they're still going to be 300 in front, which means more than enough under the circumstances to win this match. They're 152 in front at the moment. 152 in front. Yeah, the third highest score for England is extras that's been well documented. Sri Lanka would be a bit difficult for Australia if they have the tropical Lankan pitch. Typical something, but the case will be more competitive. I think Pakistan's more of the danger than Sri Lanka, to be honest, at home. Pakistan are not going to be an easy team to beat at home. Warner wants to play next to Ashes and also to beat India. Realistic goal? I think unrealistic, if I'm being honest. Means he'll be even 39 or 30. No, he's pushing it. I don't think they're going to want to have him in that long, to be honest. We'll wait and see. They're sarcastically saying that Khawaja's too old. Well, if Khawaja's too old, then Warner's too old. Neither Axar or Ashwin, or in this case Maharaj, is getting, as he's been here, Ashwin relying on more pace, bounce and top spin. Yeah, that's true. That's an adjustment of a spin ball. They have to adjust to the conditions. That's pretty damn good then, if that's the case. Rabala's bowled pretty genuinely well in the series. The Giddy had more luck in the first innings. Shami bowled exceptionally well, and I think Bumrah's fit. If those two get on song again with Siraj, they're going to, and even Thakur himself, they got a great chance of knocking South Africa over very quickly. I think Anderson's last series will be in England, not here. It depends what Pakistan turns up, but they're at home. They'll be certainly. Patricia Roy, how are you? Happy New Year. Well, hasn't quite got Happy New Year yet, but we're getting close. Warner's really, really fit. Should play for at least 5 years. No, he's 40. Yeah, I don't think he'll be there that long. Why is Stuart Broad not playing? Good question. A lot of people are asking the same thing because Broad took Harrison and Warner's wickets a lot, even in the series. So my forecast for rain is in Centurion. Yes, we know Barama. Are you going to join me? I think Lyon can play another 4 or 5 years. I don't think Lyon will play 4 or 5 years. Nagidi used his head more. That's true. I don't think that Lyon will play that long. He's played that as a great career so far. He's over 100 tests now. Very good effort. KL Rahul once again as solid as anything. Thakur's taking his time. McGinney hasn't bowled it. They preferred Marco Jensen over him. Rabala's a dead set good bowler. Great runner. And Rahul's just playing inside the line, letting it all go. So the score's 22 after how many overs now? Should start grooming next minute for life. I think they should too. What with the Matt news? With the what news? What news are you talking about? Or with the weather news? Yeah. And a couple overs of maidens here. Over rate stopped a little bit. So we're into the 10th over now. Scores 1 for 22. They're not in a great. Oops, hello. Thakur certainly had some ambition there to hit the ball out of the ground. Thakur can hit a good 50 or 60 very quickly, and Punt could come in. They could get 100 very, very quickly and put 250 lead on, 300 after lunch, send them back in. Make a game of this. Make it where South Africa have a potential chance. Well, getting 300 in seconds, I doubt. My dismissal was ball went very low. Just a little bit off the pitch, but it was more than it kept low. Well, Thakur's gone for a nice old big swipe over point. It's gave it a nice old clip. It's actually gone for 6. Thakur could quite easily get a few runs there very, very quickly, guys. Let's see the replay of that shot. He's given it some curry, I'll tell you. They're showing the replay of Mayank Agarwal's dismissal, not showing the 6 that Thakur's it. That's frustrating. We'll show the replay of Thakur's 6. It's funny why they're not showing that. Blistering 6 Wilsons. That was even wider. That has to be wide. That's not called a wide? You're kidding me. Oh, I'm shocked. That ball was so wide it was out of normal batsman's reach. It should have been an easy wide. And he's clobbered that beautifully. Not a great deal of power behind it, but he hit it beautifully for 6. Oh, amazed that's not wide, that last ball. And then Jensen's come back with a good delivery. We're to the 10th over now. Score's 1 for 28. Ball's certainly going over the top of the keeper. Oh, they're grimacing. He let it go and went over the stump, so I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, Mr. Viv Richards got 2 runs, but probably didn't deserve to go past him. Who was Lyon's replacement? I'm thinking Zampa. I don't think it's Swepson. Lyon at 34 years old, that's right. So not a spring chicken either. Yeah, they're certainly not. A few of them are not. Oh, that went closer than I thought. Yeah, Lyon's replaced it. It won't be Swepson. He's more of an alternative second spinner. I think Zampa. I really would give Zampa some rating. So 1 for 28 after 10 overs. Why aren't Australia giving a chance to camp? Well, they are. He's World Cup champion player, isn't he? I don't reckon it's the Queen anymore. Do you think England would take away Richardson? No. Why aren't Australia giving chances to Zampa? They will. I reckon they will. They will at some stage. I like Zampa as well. I think he's got that spark about him. He's very accurate. Plus, he can take wickets. And geez, he's well liked in the group too. And he's got a bit of almost like a vice captaincy role going on there. Oops, hello. That didn't. That was very low. And Rahul was hit on the arm, and he went very low and ducked. Now, Dean Elgar's now wondering if he goes upstairs again and he stuffs it, then they are going to be. No, he's not going for this time. Because if he stuffs it, he's got no reviews left, has he? He's a good kid. Zampa, he certainly is pulling, and I would agree with that comment totally. Oh, no, I would have missed the stumps. When the ball's short and it's coming, you should fend away. You shouldn't be ducking. Agar will be handy in Asia. Yeah, might be considered. Lion is more like a goat than a spring chicken, but Zampa is a sitting duck. Vegan jokes, okay. For the rain, Sam Billings could be tried in England. He's good. He's a good player. Well, considered judgment. Yes. Let's look at this ball. He's ducked under. No, it was high enough to go over. Not by a great deal, but it was going to go over. Hit him in the ribs. RBW, ribs before the wicket. Called a no ball, apparently. Score goes to 29. Rahul's put it down to final leg, but the score goes on to 30 now. Any update on Hazelwood? Hazelwood's just. They say he's out based on just time to recover from the sides training up to a month, so he probably will be rested. They're going so well. The Sydney bowlers have been blooded very well. He won't be rushed back into Sydney. I don't think it'll be unlikely that they'll be rushed back in now. If they needed him desperately, they might have put him in, but they don't need him desperately. So 1 for 30, the lead by 160 now. I would argue it's already enough. South Africa couldn't muster 197. They're not going to muster much more if it starts to become overcast and dreary tomorrow. I reckon, yeah, they'll try and score 100 and 300. No, it's missing. Yeah, it's missing. Missing the ball that he jacked. Yeah, would have been a silly review. I think it was Australia's biggest loss. They were on him to fill the shoes of Warnwell. Hazelwood's a 50. He's not playing. I'm pretty sure he's not playing. Who should Australia groom to ensure they have backup for Hazelwood in India? Well, I mean, they got a plethora of players now. They got Nisa. They got Jai Richardson probably will be there as well, and they've got even Scott Boland. Even at this groom talk, all this groom talk. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. They should have given Agar more chances. Same with Sanford. They'll get their chances. They're getting a lot of short format chances. Thakur still there on 10. Thakur is good for 50 or 60, I'll tell you. Where will the final of the World Search Championship be played? How's the venue decided? Well, the first one was easy. It was always going to be at Lord's, or at least in England. They went to Southampton, didn't they? And it could well be based on whoever won it, which was New Zealand. It could well be New Zealand. Can Pekoski play? And SCG looks like a serious player. No, he's not playing. Well, they're not. If they're going to drop Harris, it would be Kawadra anyway. Maxwell should go to Asia. Well, I think so. Do you think Ishant Sharma will retire? He should, out of respect for himself. I like Richardson, but he's more of a test bowler than white ball. That's true. And his injuries are a problem. That's true. The last thing Australia needs is a grooming allegation. Maxwell is a very good player of spin. I think Maxwell is well worth having in both Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And Zampa to support line. So day one, there were 90 overs, 272. Day three, there was no day two, 84 overs, 268. Day four, so for 5 overs. From 14 runs, so there's a long way to go here, guys. At some stage, I'm expecting them to go ballistic here. So first ball from Marco Jensen to KRL, who's taking his time this morning. Very solid batsman, KRL, very solid. Lost Agarwal last night. Pujara's there still. Pujara can't complain. They knocked off the first 5 or so overs. So. Smriti Mandana is a class player. Well, she's not playing for the Indian men's team, I'll tell you that much. Richardson is suffering from injuries. How can Australia ensure he reduces that? Well, the same happened to Pat Cummins. Look at him now. So, Richardson's still pretty young. He'll come good. Steve Harmison said, problem is not county cricket. Problem is when you play it and where. It's somewhat true. They need to get a proper chain of selectors in and not rely on the coach. Even every team should have flexible multiple pace patchery. They can form in tandem in rotation, and paces are more prone to injuries. Yeah, looks like that's what they're doing now. Certainly looks like what they're doing. Rahul's taking his time. You've got 120 on the first innings, 11 on the second. He's a really good bat. No spinner can play in county. In county cricket, why aren't boards investing in sports science play? They are. And Nick Hockley is certainly doing that. He's a very clever man. He's a good CEO to have. In which channel India-South Africa match is broadcast in Australia? It's Foxtel. 5:05 on Foxtel. I'm watching it right now. You want to see? Yeah, I'll see it, don't I? Watching it there on Foxtel. Ashwin, another Origin cricket played well in last year's county cricket. Yeah, they should. I mean, Vihara was there as well. Which country has the best domestic cricket set up at present? Oh, India, Australia, to an extent New Zealand and England. That's the way I would go. Depends what for. So Test cricket, probably Sheffield's up right up there. County's up there. The Indian Ranji trophies up there as well. Well, Archie played Test cricket again. Well, I thought I asked Josh Archer himself. He's had a second operation the last few weeks. It sounds like a lot of chronic issues there. Looks less and less likely. For some, most big teams have invested in a lot of sports, like especially I mean, they all have. It's the bee's knees. It's the thing to do these days. So we've knocked out 12 overs now. Well, there goes some sunrays. Looks like four buys. Not the way to start an over. Score moves to 34 into the 12th over now. Good start. Oh, no, just missed the legs. Oh, it just dipped very quickly. Nevada's ball quite wide. He's swung away as well. So 1 for 34 into the 12th over now. That's a healthy start there. I don't think Green will play in Pakistan. Isn't Cameron Green? I think he will. Australian batting wasn't exposed. Green, Carey. Yeah, I don't think. I hope they do change, actually. I think Langer's not the right coach. I tend to agree with that. All the talk depends on team performance. If it is good, the whole structure is good. What's messing them? If it's bad, it's bad. Not necessarily. England's they've gone a bit hard on them. I think they've got a good structure. It's just they've been concentrating more on short ball, yes, but they can fix that very quickly. Most teams have a big support staff as well. The therapists they probably have too many, if you ask me. Time for England to lose their test status. No, I did hear right. It's not going to happen. They're too highly ranked for that. They're still in the top 4. They're not that far away. I wouldn't be discrediting them just yet. They're not losing their test status probably ever. I don't think you'll ever see England, India, Australia, New Zealand out of the test status. No. New Zealand, South Africa, West Indies is 5 and 6, and you got 7 8. You got like Pakistan's and Sri Lanka's. Sri Lanka are more of a danger, especially women's cricket. We're not losing test status to take a monumental thing. Oh, hello, there's an edge and he's out. Rabada's taken the wicket there. Caught it. What looks like second or third slip. Thakur couldn't help himself. He's got an edge. Did his job though. Healthy edge too. I said the wickets are going to fall today as well as with the South Africans. So any lead of 250 plus is going to be more than enough. Rabada, good bowler, taking his first wicket. 2 for 34. So this has gone to. It was a pretty good ball, and he's popped it up and has gone to the third slip. Taken by Mulder. So 2 for 34 went to the. No. Well, his job was to be a night watchman. He's done his job. You can't knock it. Pujara's coming out. And Betway Test Series is called. Pujara coming in effectively at 3. I I won 4,000 rupees on Sydney Thunder yesterday. Good on you. Do you think Stark will be rested for their CG? And it could happen. Could happen. Die or die situation for Johnny. Do or die. He has scored 6 out of 589 runs, an average of 44.52, 31 50s and 1800s. So in his 93 test matches, he hasn't got a bad record. Pujara is a walking wicket these days. He's disappointing the way he's fallen away. He has scored 6,589 runs. That's not to be sneezed at. And played 93 tests. That's why they're reluctant to drop him. Record breaking 54 ducks for England in 2021 aims to be changed to Duckland. No, that's a bit heavy. They've also played well on occasions too, so he can't. His average used to be over 50. Well, 44 is still pretty good. I wouldn't mind a batting average in test level 44 after 93 test matches. Yeah, he has lost his form. England has so many ducks, can eat omelette a whole year. A duck omelette. Yuck. Couldn't think of anything worse. Pujara, first ball last innings, and this innings the ball's gone down the leg side and nothing delivery there from Rabada. That looks like 13 overs have gone now. Ball was a useless first ball for a batsman on a duck. That call was a bit high on the handle. A good catch though. The British Ducks are either he scores 100 or goodbye to his place in the team, but take current scenario into consideration. Well, we said that about Rahane too, didn't we? Virat Kohli is useless. That's not a fight game. That's too hard. Kangaroos, Kiwis, Tigers, now the Ducks. British Lions are still going to hold pretty firm. Pujara has lasted the ball. That was 13 overs, 2 for 34. Not a bad score here. Let's not forget what did hang on. Okay. Rahul's still there. Pujara's faced one ball, which was an ordinary first ball. It is a mental game. You hope Pujara can relax and focus and not think about. He should be able to. He's played 93 tests. It's not like he's not used to this. Hello, Angel. Mankind's Angel take. What the hell? Who are you talking about? Angel Wings. Abi and under 2023 ODI World Cup winner predictions only. It's way too early. Way too early. Where's it played? It's played in India, isn't it? Perhaps you can argue India, but let's see. Pujara is definitely under the pump. Yeah, but a man that's played 93 test matches, scored 6 out of 500 runs. Even if he's under the pump, he can rest assured he's been a very useful player for his team. Rahul on the head's only scored 2,000 odd runs. So he's still 4,000 behind Pujara. Think of it that way. That's the song on an infamous song by Tahir Shah. Pay no heed to it. Oh, the Angel song. Okay. How was I supposed to know? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've given Marco Jensen a bit more of a go, haven't they? Ex-Hosa commentary for us under, obviously the language here, for the son of Sixaba and Mufenko Nagan. We're not going to understand that language, I'm afraid. In a way, I hope New Zealand win the ODI World Cup. Oh, that'll be nice. Angel Wings, let's face it, they are not moving Pujara and Ajinkya out of the line anytime soon, so let's just root for them. Is there a play on the word root there? What's the pace of Jensen? He's 134. He's not express. He's fast but not express. If Australia can't win, of course, New Zealand should win. Okay. That's the ODIs in India, isn't it? The T20 World Cups in Australia, and only in Australia, not New Zealand. It was the last time, the 15 World Cup. That was it 50 over? I think it was 50. That was a bit disjointed. It was New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand, Australia. Okay, so. Rahul's gone in a bit of a shell here. And so did Thakur a little bit as well. Maybe they need to get out of this. They need to start to break the shackles and start to explode a bit more with their bowling. Norm, did you get boosted? Boosted as in, you're talking about boosted. You mean my number of subscribers? Is that what you mean? T20 World Cup next year in Australia. What do you mean, Angel Wings? Tell me. We are waiting on David Graven to turn up, and Bram's been a part of here for a minute, but I think David Graven, he did say he would join, but he's probably asleep. Poor bugger. We've already gone for an hour and 5 minutes. A booster shot. Now, I haven't had a booster shot yet. That's yet to happen. I'm probably due about January, February. So they went to Nipuni Hansika and Rebecca Van Dort went to the zoo. They got a teddy bear, they got a lion, kangaroos. Giraffe. Seahorses in the water. All sorts of things. They went to the zoo. I went with you. Pujara's looking very much beside himself at the moment. Not going to get a result if India get at this place, I agree. So, Norman, I think now you will agree with the final scoreline of 5-0 Australia. No, I'm still not agreeing with it. It would be devastating for the series to be 5-0. I'd like them to win a one match, make something of it. They're looking at least 3-0. They've won the series. They could well go 4-1, let's say. Abhishek wait for ball to get a little old. Australia always does well in World Cups. They do. I wouldn't have put Pujara in next job. I would have put Punt or something there. It was a good ball that got Thakur out, though, I must say. Mulder, well, he's a sound bowler. Not a great bowler. All his feet. Ooh, I tell you what, there's almost no ball there. Pujara better, play some shots here. He's not. It's not like they're losing this match; they're ahead. Should take advantage of this for Pujara and start to play it slightly more aggressively. Might get him out of this little form slump we're saying. Those very hot summers, like Pujara's. I don't know what he's doing. He's just hanging his bat out there. Now that I've got considerable thought to it, it's fitting that the British be henceforth called as the Ducks. It's befitting. No, the Lions. Anyway, border shot, booster shot, mandatory where I live. Not sure if it is in Australia. It will be when you get to the point of being 6 months on the current one. If you took Pfizer, you got up to 6 months. And with AstraZeneca, it's a year. So it's not compulsory, but it's requested. We had 11,000 COVID cases here today in New South Wales. That's where I'm from. Angel, don't you live in a red state? Let them Lankans be called the Lions. Yeah, Sri Lankan. Yeah, okay. How long will India bat? Well, I'll tell you what, they bat like this, they'll be batting for the whole 5 days and have a draw, which will be bloody boring. They need to be conscious of time here. Well, the weather looks perfect at the moment. They might be just playing at the first session as steadily as they can, not losing too many wickets, and then go for it. I did hear right. India will knock these quotas back to reality. These quotas, you mean the Proteas, and after the series defeats CSA, will be forced to play their full-strength team, Merrick saying. Who are you talking about? You're saying it's not their full team. It is their team. Are they taking runs or time into consideration? Well, they should be taking both time and runs because they need to get runs. Well, they don't need to, but they're going to. Well, the 165 in front because it's perfect, bright sunshine at the moment, not a cloud in the sky. So if it's going to rain tomorrow, yeah, we just got to wait and see what actually does happen. So you just don't know. Weather forecasts can be wrong. Oh, that was a wide. That's got to be a wide. Has to be a wide. Is it not called a wide? You're kidding me. I was so far from the bat. Why wasn't that called a wide? It's disturbing. Or maybe it was called a wide. I don't know. Pajara, 8 balls, not a run. Oh, my God. Aren't South Africa called the Lions? No, they're called the Proteas. Can they send punt at 5 and then make quick runs? I think they should. I'll tell you what. They're still having a few problems at the batting, but they're still well ahead. Blue State, not to mention our governor is a czar. Okay, Angela Winslow, you completely lost me. Where are you from? You're from India. So Jansen put a bit extra pace at 141. It was Kenyan lines. Okay. California. Okay, we're from US. I'll get that right. My apologies. Lovely state. Jim Farban, a good friend of mine, is in California. He's actually from Orange County near Laguna Beach. Great spot. They really are struggling to get runs, aren't they, these two? How can England win, can't score, can't take wickets, can't catch, can't take a good decision, 5-0 England? Okay, well, you hold to your hand, you'd think it'll have to be that, but we'll wait and see. If England win the toss, it goes against them. Bit of a tricky situation for India. It is a bit. Look me up when you visit 11 on County as well. Although, okay, Angel, we tell us more. Bharat, what do you think is the best option for England changing coaching setup entirely or better coach? Well, they need to do both. They won't do it during the series. It's more of a longer term thing, but they'll probably do both. Changing the coach, Silverwood's good. It's more the system. There's a bit late for you. It's around 3 a.m., isn't it? What, me? No, it's actually what time is it here? It's 7:45 p.m. It's early evening. I am at all. You're a friend. 4444. Jensen 239 there. Rahul 604. Score moves to 39 after how many overs? Geez, that flew the boundary, didn't it? There's summer here, yes it is. No, it's early in California. Oh, okay. I thought it might have been. We were not early here. 2 for 39. How many overs? What, 14 overs? 2 for 39, 14 overs. So David Brookhaven has officially just told me he's not coming because his daughter's in isolation. His daughter's coming out of isolation, so we have Christmas Day too. No problem. Another nice shot there. Pajara. Well, here we go. It's a pretty good shot from Pajara. Pajara's driven it nicely there. Beautiful shot from Pajara. Nice drive. Good on him. He's played a very encouraging shot. That's the Pajara we know. So 2 for 43 into the 17th over. Here we go. Was it a carrying shot from Pajara? The ball wasn't that well played, that one, though. So 2 for 43 from 17. Okay. No, I've tomorrow. I can't believe I lost the test match by innings. Yeah, it's pretty awful. What is his fastest 50? Who's fastest 50? Pajara. Well, it's never fast. Don't lose anymore. We can the session and send punt next. That should be the plan. Yeah, Abhishek Sharma, I would agree with that. 2 for 43. They're 173 in front now. Okay, 173 in front. I think India will accelerate after lunch. They will. They're going to be well over 200 post lunch, so they're in the driver's seat. Pajara should be aggressive. Oops, he's always dropped. Pajara was dropped off Nagidi. Catchable. Dean Elgar's showing some gross. Rabada is the one who looks like he's dropped and he's not happy with himself at all. Pajara dropped off a ball that probably should have been caught. It was not a hard catch. Slightly slower ball. He set him up for that, and he was dropped. Oh, he's nicked it to slip, but it's bounced. Oh, gee, that's not good. Is 81 balls. Okay. Now, who do you think will win the ICC Best Player of the Year? Well, it's going to be probably Root, based on his batting, you have to think. It's a pretty good effort. Two for 45, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, he's the wicket taker of the first innings. So 2 for 45 into the 17th over here. Root's not performing in Australia in Ashes, so no. I think I think he deserves it. Why wouldn't he deserve it? All right. The lead by 175. Look, it's almost enough now, to be honest. I think South Africa will struggle to get anywhere near 200 like they did in the first innings. If India bowl well, which they probably will. Ten extras so far in this total. It's the second highest score. Two for 45, lead by 175. We're giving a lot of faith at Jansen in the second innings. There's my show. A lot of people going carrying on outside there. I'm not sure what happened there. It's an unusual looking decision. It's a Rahul's. Oh, it's a full ball. Oh, no, how did that miss the stumps? Oh, jeez. Two for 45 into the 18th over here. Rahul's 15, Pujara's 6. Jansen 1 for 14, taking the first wicket last night of Agarwal. We have had 5 fivers in 5 matches. Yeah, well, that's including the Richardson, Boland, McGiddy. There's been a few, yeah. Sharmi. Axel would still got a chance at some stage, I'm sure. What about Ashwin? 52 wickets and 338 runs with the 102 and 8 test minutes he played this year. He's got to go close, yes. Bruce scores 1,700 runs. Dravid's timing of appointment couldn't have been any better when the team is suffering from factionalism that you need the calming presence of the wall. Isn't on Abhishek Sharma perfectly said. I think, although Ravi Shastri did a great job, Dravid's certainly good too. Two for 45, lead by 175, another 125, and they've got enough. And they need to get them in some stage on and around T, I would argue. Whatever total have got at that stage, then all be enough. Jensen's just played with his back there. It's another over pond. Should be the lead is still that we've got. Two for 45 of 18 overs. Not a bad score. It could easily be a lot worse, couldn't it? And not. Root 1,708 runs. That's an amazing record. He would probably get it for that. I think that's the only 12 Richards then on that 80 off Mohamed Yusuf. Or was it? Yeah, Mohamed Yusuf, I think it was. Pujaras looks a little bit more aggressive, I must say. He's hit a single off the first ball. He's on 7. Rahul's been at 58 deliveries for 15. I think he needs to score some runs now. South Africa bowling well, though. Bowling a lot of leg side deliveries there from the Giddy. Not well directed at all. Do you think 300 is a good total? I think it is. I'll be surprised if South Africa score more than 200 in their second innings. Scored 197 in the first, and they just got there. Just got there. if the weather turns like they say it is, well then yeah, that will be more than enough runs. But we'll just wait and see. India might bat as much time as they can today, but they've got to have South Africa in for at least a session today and take several wickets because tomorrow may be washed out. That's ball right in the place that Rahul likes it. Nicely clipped through mid-wicket or square leg there for 4. 50 to score, 180 to the lead. I'd even argue they've got enough now, if I'm being honest. Baramarani.
Hi Norman, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Good. This is very steady batting from India. They're not doing anything too flash. They're 180 in front. All looks good for them to get a decent lead. Don't you think?
Pujara got a chance. Hope he capitalizes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's going to have to because he shouldn't be there, should he? I mean, they're 180 in front. They need 120 more. They've got enough. They've probably got enough now. I mean, I said yesterday.
What do you think? Like around 280? No, but do you think around 280 they will declare given the... But if it rains tomorrow, Norman, this looks very... Let's say if there is no whole of 50, it looks very difficult. Because...
well, they have to get...
I don't know if they reach to 2...
Play. They need to get a session of play with South Africa batting today. But the weather,
I would say around somewhere mid of the second session. Yeah, you can go on, Norman.
I was just going to say, there's perfectly blue skies. There's not a single cloud anywhere. Now, I know the forecast is rain tomorrow, but they've got to be a little bit careful because forecasts can be wrong. So they need to get well over 300 at least by sometime around tea and then make a decision.
Yeah, because what I believe the first day also the forecast was for heavy rain, but we saw that the first day we got clear skies, and second day it was rain, nothing happened, and the third day lived up to its name. Like everybody says, it's the moving day of a test match, and it did move for sure. So we saw 18 wickets falling, so that was a lot of movement.
Yeah, but I mean, look. Today's day 4 and it's perfect sunshine. It doesn't guarantee that it'll be raining tomorrow, but they must understand it may rain part of tomorrow, but it may not rain. It may be playable up until lunch tomorrow. Then it might rain. They're showing 4 men.
I think 2.5 sessions should be maybe something which India should look at to get South Africa out.
Yeah. I just think that
how's the overall scenario with the Ashes now, Norman? Like in terms of the, I would say more the Australian sentiment. Do the Australians want to play it?
They're playing. They're playing.
I know they are playing, but what is in terms of the people, the Australian public? Do they find it exciting?
I mean, I'm in Sydney. I want to see a test match. So yeah, I think people still want to see test cricket. And if it's a good game, well, then that's just as good as if it's a good game and it's 4th to the 5th day, well, then that's worth seeing, even though it's 3-0 down. I don't think that really bothers us too much. I'd like to see them play. The only thing is the COVID situation. There was 11,000 COVID cases today. 11,000, which for Sydney is massive record. But with all the
cases are shooting up. Cases are shooting up drastically. Even in India, even in Europe, cases are shooting up. Like yesterday, if you know, the in UAE, the Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka under-19 match was called off in between. Imagine this, Norman, in between, not like before the match. I think half of the first innings was played and the match around 25 overs, if I'm not wrong, or 32 overs.
Right.
32 overs were bowled and the match was abandoned in between due to COVID-19.
Really? I mean,
Till now we saw matches called off or toss called off, but a match being abandoned in between is something big.
Yeah. Why was it? Was a player tested positive or something? Or? Is that why?
Pardon, Norman, I didn't get you.
Someone tested positive. Is that why? Or?
I think the match officials tested positive. That's what was written.
Really?
Now, by match officials, what do they mean? Do they mean the umpires? Do they mean what exactly? They said that the match officials tested positive.
It was the umpires, yes, for sure. Jara was batting very ordinary.
So mean the umpires were in the middle umpiring.
They should just tell us it's the umpire. They should just tell us. We're not scared of that. Just tell us. Some people are saying it's only a 20% prediction of rain tomorrow. I heard 80%. If it's 20%, well, they need to bat more than 300. Then. Jara's he's not batting. Oh, gee, that was close.
Norman, I think my network is getting choppy again. I'll better log out.
All right, bro. No worries. We need to learn to live with COVID. I think we are getting to that point now. We're angel wings. We certainly have. You live with it. 11,000 sounds like a lot, but I'm afraid that may be the case every single day now. So India are 2 for 50 after some 20 overs. I've fully embraced the mask life. Embraced that mask life. Okay. I'm not wearing a mask on my channel, that's for sure. We just need to, I'm not going to be here for much longer, guys. We'll wait and see what happens today. Hopefully we've got something to watch tomorrow. All right, so January 5th is still a few days away. So 2 for 50 after 20, slow going. I want some more action. But Joe, let's see me to 6. Let's see me see 3 sixes in a row. An over of 6s to a Garfield Sobers, and it's 6 sixes. Commercials coming out of our ears here. It's past my bedtime. It's only 8 o'clock at night. All right, guys, keep talking. I'm going to keep talking. It's going to be getting a juice. I'm a bit thirsty. Getting a juice, an apple juice. So look here. Gonna have a few days on. Tucker looked a bit unfortunate for Tucker. 70% rain, is it? Not 20%. I thought it was like 80%. And the weather today, picture perfect day on a cloud in the sky. First they said, take the shots and you can live normally. I think we did that. So get a booster, I got that. So why can't we be back to normal? Well, we pretty much can. I think we are now. We're not going to go, we might wear masks. We're not going to be locking ourselves indoors, I think. It is about hospitalisation and death rates. That's all it's really about, not an infection rate. That's right. Indian bowling will be far more interesting than once, that's for sure. It will be. South Africa are a bloody ordinary side, I'm sorry, very ordinary side. Rabada, Ngidi, Norje, good bowlers, but their batting, shocking. So after 20 overs, they're now 2 for 50 after the first hour's play. We should see much the same for the rest of this innings, this session, and we should see them then go, over 200 in front, and the fireworks will start up. South Africa are all out for 197. That's awful. Absolutely awful. India lead by 180 runs. So if we another 120, they should be enough. The drinks breaks are generally a bit of an issue because you tend to see players lose their rhythm a little bit, both bowlers and batters. Rahul scored a magnificent 123, I think it was in the first innings, 19 in the second. Certainly happy with his batting performance, I'm sure. Set the scene beautifully for the Indian total, even though they ended up getting out for 327. They were certainly looking good at 3 for 272. South Africa got a dismal 197, and I'm afraid that they're heading for a similar low score in the second innings. India have to ram this advantage home. They have to take it by the horns and get a victory here. In the 21st over here. Ngidi yet to take a wicket. I won't go more than about another half an hour, guys. Hopefully we'll see some sort of change in the match. We'll see some more runs. Joe has driven nicely, and it's going on the way to it's beating the field. The field maybe pressed to beat this the field boundary. Oh, he's done well. Has Maharaj. Should be able to get at least 3 there. Looks a good pitch to me. 15, no balls by Rabada so far. Ouch, yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? Rahul looks fantastic. Looks very solid. Very, very solid. Pujara is racing off for single. There's no run there. A bit presumptuous there. But Verma's in white ball doesn't seem very confident. Confidence right exactly how he wrote as a player and as a captain. He's a solid player, but he's not a good captain. Full stop in any format. Certainly on Test cricket. Elga's probably got more ability. And even Quentin de Kock did too, but I think he was out of favour with the board. But yeah, Elga's probably good value. Not a single sausage there in the crowd. Not a single person anywhere to be seen. Petrel looks a bit more determined this performance. I mean, 253 is not to be sneezed at, is it? I think I'm with 253 for the 21st over. About a 37 this morning. So India are 2 for 53 in the 21st over now. One ball left in the Giddies over. But a drop to Pujara. That's proving a bit costly, I'm sure. Verma's their best batter. No, he's not. Elgar's probably their best batter. And even de Kock's up there as well. No, Bavuma, I think it's de Kock. Elgar's got a better batting record. He's got more centuries. Van der Dusen, whatever his name is supposed to be, a better batsman. He hasn't proven it yet. So 253 after 21 overs. Understandably, with Pujara out there, the score run rates just dropped right off. So day 4, 28 degrees Celsius, 20% chance of rain. Day 5, 26 degrees Celsius, 80% chance. So they're saying 20% chance today when it's blue sky, not a cloud anywhere. So the 20% is really zero. Tomorrow, 80%. It's going to be quite a dramatic turnaround. They were actually saying day 4 has the cloud, but there's not a single cloud. Well, there's a very low level cloud there, but virtually no clouds. It'll be quite a dramatic turnaround for there to be rain tomorrow. Carroll is looking in good touch in the second innings. He certainly is. India's start so far dictated by conditions, and they're bowling really well. They're bowling really, yeah. It's perfect batting conditions at the moment for India. You may want to see South Africa bat later today, but then it depends on how much rain there is. So it's very hard to predict because there's not a single cloud in the sky at the moment. Not a single person in the crowd either. Yeah, so Mulder's simply a very military medium type bowler. Not doing too much at all. Mulder putting it on and through to it's just hit on the ground by Rahul. He's 22 of 58 and going nowhere at the moment. Man of the match candidate, unless Sharmi goes berserk in the second innings. KL's man of the match. Yeah, and Sharmi. They both combine well. Sharmi takes 5 wickets in the second innings. He'll get it. Or even 4. Yeah, he is leading the ball very well. Positive to play with any hesitation. He's in total control. Next in is Kohli. So I think Kohli will go in there and he'll take charge. Kohli and Punt will accelerate for sure. Well, Rahani's coming in too. Not a cloud in the sky. Oh, that popped up. But of no great consequence. Very dull. And de Kock scored in the first innings. Sharmi more as Kale dropped a crucial catch there. And de Kock scored. Okay. How does a drop catch work in play of the match? If a player scores 100 and drops 3 catches, does he still play the match? You would still think so. Unless there were crucial drops, I think he would probably still get it, yeah. Because 100 won the game for them. But 3 catches, that's not what Rahul dropped. He didn't drop 3. If Sharma gets 4 wickets, he's won the man of the match. So 2 for 54 is the score. So having versus the big 3, I'm not sure what they're getting out here. I said the 12. Yeah, nobody remembers drop catch and remember centuries. You're right, Angel Wings. I don't know why we're discussing about player of the match, winning in the match that matters. That's true. Ball certainly bouncing slightly unevenly here. Bumrah will love it. Wicket certainly is flaring up. And is not looking like any hurry, that's true. Let's hope Kohli comes back now. He's got a nice bruised thumb there. Rahul has won any spray. Let's not knock Kohli. Hour and 17 minutes to play. Gone. There's another 45 minutes or 43 minutes to go before lunch break. Yeah, they'll be over 200 runs to lead. The middle session, they should be going for it, getting over 300 and then putting South Africa, that is, into bat. He should put a spray on his hand. Kohli has been getting starts. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, I agree. Rahul's batting has been extremely disciplined for some time now. Since his first match against England earlier this year was fantastic. So disappointed from Virat Kohli. He's played a loose shot in first innings. Yeah, again, he was looking. He needs to put that big 100 on, doesn't he? Once he does that, he should start to get a succession of them. Ligeti coming in. He hasn't taken a look at this innings. I spoke a ball too early, didn't I? He's just got Rahul. I just spoke too early in that midst of that over ball. Rahul's clipped at the first slip, and the third wicket's fallen. Rahul's gone for 23. Probably been affected by that hand hit. So this is where Kohli's coming in the bat now. Let's just see what he's up to. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. Rather strange shot, though, I must say. Giddy, I just said that hasn't taken the wicket, and then he just went and did it. Now this is where it gets interesting with a Coley. Rahul to pass. Speaking of it, he should be next. Ben McDermott's playing well in the BBL, it looks like, but I'm not really concerned about that. This is all I'm interested about. Here we are. Virat Kohli, right-hand batsman, comes in with the 194 lead. Perfect batting conditions, to be honest with you. No issue with the batting conditions. .354 into the 23rd over. So he's 98 test matches. He'll score his 100th test match at the end of the series. 160 innings, 7,836 runs, an average of 50.55, 27 50s, 2700s, best 250, 254 not out versus South Africa, 2019 in Pune. It's not that long ago. So he's 2 years ago, he scored 254 in Pune. Let's just see if he can crack it, bit of a score here. Perfect conditions to bat. Sun, ball coming on the bat easily. Hope India aren't inspired by England's just more batting. Let's not. Has Australia ever battled a foreign coach? Yeah, Mickey Arthur, who's South African. I can't think of anyone else at this stage. It was a good catch from Dean Elgar. It wasn't an easy catch. It came flew. Giddy's got big shoulders, that's for sure. No, there was a nothing shot. Mind you, he scored 123 in the first, 23 in the second. He's done his job. The lead by 184, so they're 300 still on the cards. Not a great scoreline though, 354. Roll 23, Mayak 4, Takur 10. Well, he's not really a first dropper. And then Pajano at 7, Coley hasn't scored. Rahane and Punt to come with Ashram, and then the bowlers. They only need 120 more. Right back to the bowling now. They've got Mulder to bowl to, who doesn't look like much. It's Pajara. You got the word Proteus on the hat, like the Kiwis do. Very sort of meek, 128 k's per hour. Not much in the bowling department at all. I'm impressed with his bowling. It's very military medium. Jara's been dropped by Rabada right from the giddy. That ball was nice out there to drive, actually. A bit too defensive. They've got to be a bit more attacking than this. Rahami and punts to follow. Needs to be a little more aggressive. Actually, surprise punt didn't come in instead of VK. Well, that didn't happen. It was a wide delivery. Let's see Pajari was 6, shall we? Maharaj there with Kigesa or Abada there in the slips. Highest successful run chase, 251, England against South Africa. That's not going to happen. Not going to be here today. They've got the 184. They're still going to get 100 plus, 100 to 120 runs, and then it'll be in their favour. Yes, so the highest has been 251 at SUPERSPORT Park, 8 for 251 for England against South Africa in 2000. So, yeah, that's 251. That shows you how low the totals will be. There's been nothing higher than that. So, once you get up around the 300 mark, that's going to be enough. It was very wide. Walters 128 Ks. It's too slow, not accurate, not penetrative. Will we ever see an Asian great coaching any of the CENTURION nations? Is it the language, cultural barrier that comes in the way? No, there's a Sri Lankan Hasaringa, his name is, I think. Hasaringa, he's coaching in New South Wales level and is well respected. So, no, we've got a few that are flying around. Nations, is that an official term or do you make it up? There is a term for something. Abhishek Sharma, I think Angel Wings is having a go at you. Well, Virat Kohli got one where he wanted it on his pads and he just flicked it away for a very positive 4 lanes. That's what I wanted to see. Some Kohli magic. Once Kohli gets a wriggle on, he'll start to really move. Well played, into the gap, 4 runs, nice shot. Kohli class, don't worry. Colour barrier, no, there's nothing. No, it's not a colour barrier thing at all. Don't think that. I mean, if you were to pay, I'll be sharp enough, he'd probably come to Australia, but he costs too much. In the future, we may look for Indian coaches and even West Indian coaches to come and coach us. You never know. Australian coaches have gone all over the place. Trevor Bales was in England, Moody here, a whole range of Australian coaches have bounced in the IPL. We're all over the place, aren't we? Come on, Kohli, here's a string of 4s. It's great seeing conditions, clear as a bell. Ball coming on the bat, perfect pitch, go for it. I was very quick to become defensive with their field placement. Oh, make up your mind with a single running. Jesus. Kohli and Pujara laugh, that was pretty ordinary. Yeah, for fair point, no one's going to pay them as much as BCCI guys. Yeah, why would Kohli go to Australia? He was multi-million-dollar contract. He won't get that. We can't afford that. There was a single on that. I reckon. Pujara was Pujara doing? He ran, didn't he? 3 for 58. They're doing pretty well. $3.58 in the 25th over here. Sixes are 35 for 7. Casey 105. Not looking good. Coley's well filled there. Didn't get through. Yes, they have two backing starting playing. Yes, they do. My good mate is in there. What's his name? Harris Ralph. And another fellow. Go on. Coley's hit it through the gap there for a couple. Brings it to 3 for 60 off 25 overs. Let's get Coley into a positive from. I want to see him score big today. I mean, the 3 for 60 here. Lead by 190. Coley on 6, Pajama on 7. Looking like pretty good condition. Sitting sixes are AU England and Skies, Marcus Lawrence to say. There we go, 3 for 60. All BBL needs now is likes of Hitman and VK and BPL. That's true. Although what happens? It gets money. India have to declare around 300 lead. I can't see Indian hugging out Pakistan teammates in BBL. Interesting point. Nelson, well placed. Yeah, 3 for 61. They're cruising. You'd think that. Okay. Coley. Okay, so and I agree with all that. Okay, we're getting very close to 2 hours squad. Maybe 250 is enough. Well, they can afford 300. 250 is enough. They've got to be careful not to go too deep. They should be going for it. They should be starting to really jack up the pace. There we are. There's 4. Coley's just clipped a forward, 3 for 65. Coley's tensions are pretty well clear now. I think you're going to see Coley go slightly more aggressively. 3 for 65 and the 26 over. Looking very competent here. Mulder's not much chop, let's be honest. He's a very ordinary bowler, to be honest. They're 195 in front now. These two guys should really score 50 each. Take command of this. They need to, in these situations, they need to make. They need to take command. Lunch is another 22 minutes. The ball's a slightly better ball. 23 minutes to lunch. Roll 23. He was out for 23, so can't give them 1+ day to get 350. And yeah, they do need to get more than that. We're basing on the weather being bad tomorrow. And my time tomorrow might be like today. And they got a full day to get the 300 runs. It makes it a lot easier. It's a very difficult situation because the temptation is to not declare. And then so it happens tomorrow. But I think they have to realistically get them in the bat at some stage this afternoon. And that'll be a 300+ lead. So it should be enough. You can't declare to give them 250 because it could be a completely good playing day tomorrow. That would see South Africa romp home. Well, maybe not romp home, but have a chance of doing well. More confident. India need to get around about the score that South Africa got and quick smart. Norman, what do you as your friend? He's a real sage. I think out of Irvine or that area there, but he lives in Laguna Beach. Real estate, and his wife's a HR, human resources for some company, some tech company. I just don't want these two to, especially don't want to get cold and get out. Problem is, weatherman has been wrong before, so what it doesn't rain tomorrow, they're in trouble. It's perfectly clear day today, so they deceptively have to. They're probably not. They don't want to lose the match, so they're probably not going to declare anytime soon. Well into the, it may even be into the third session with a 300+ lead. They may see that as long enough, with an element of risk, but there's no way South Africa's going to score 300+ in this Test match. They got 197 in the first. They're destined to get a score of less than that in the second. So that's the important thing. And they would like to go. They'd like to win this. I mean, they'll bet after lunch. And from lunch to tea, they'll go for it. I'm pretty sure. They only got 20 minutes to lunch, so there's not a lot of time. They can't be like this after lunch. They have to be more aggressive. Oh, Pujabi's letting everything go. Jesus. What was it called? I can't remember. They both shouldn't be letting out me. The 19 runs to lunch. They need to be a bit more aggressive in this. It's very cold. He's had 10 matches in 17, scores 1,000 runs. 18, 30 matches, 1,300 runs. 2009, 8 matches, 612. 2020, 3 matches, 116 and 528 this year. batting average has dropped from 25 to 55 to 68 to 19 to 29. So yes, he has died off. We're into the 28th over here. If they declare, it will be midway through the third session, I think. Yeah, well, I could be leaving it a bit late. We'll wait and see. We'll just see what their judgments are. If they, I may not last that long. I want to put it beyond reasonable doubt and make sure they don't lose. That's the question. That's the question. If they want to draw the match, then they can bat all day. And that's a mistake. They should have confidence in their bowlers to be able to get them out for under 200, actually. So 300 is more than enough. It was a ball that Kohli shouldn't have played. They probably will go that long, but because it's such a clear day, you'd be quite mentally perplexed to see them do anything else. It's Kohli's. It's not going. Moore's bowling this sort of tantalisingly slow, crappy delivery hours all stuff. Becoming quite annoying, actually. I'm going to go to lunch, guys, and then I'll stop. So we've got another 16 minutes to lunch. Kohli 10, Pujara 8, 3 for 65 in the 28th over. So not a hugely fast scoring rate. They probably need it. They're 195 in front. They're 2 runs away from being the exact same score. So they're going to get 195 now. So they've got 197 the first things and struggle to get to that point. So they probably got enough right now, to be honest. But the day's a lot sunnier and clearer. It could suit the South African batsmen. They get a good start. You never know. If Markram and Elgar get a good start, mentally more confident. Over 300, the confidence is going to wane. Pujara's playing very half-hearted shots. It's been there for 40 deliveries on 8. This is not the need of the time of the day. 66. Oh, there was a sundry there or what? Been 22 overs today, and they've scored 50, so they're nowhere near them. The bailers coming on for the 29th over. 3 for 66 off 20 overs. Oh, this is excruciating. Looks like a perfect day to bat. Absolutely perfect day to bat, guys. Bit of movement, but 131 k's is not fast enough to challenge Kohli. South Africa got 197 the first things. Well, at the moment, they got to score the same in the second. to win. Oh no, what happened there? What happened there? I thought he was pad. They're going to go up there. They're going up. They're going up. It probably is too high. Definitely came in. I think a bit too high. Playing well in front of his front foot there. Yeah, well, it's just become a bit of a. Coley's not out. I'm not even stop now, guys. Umpire's call. He's already said not out, so it clipped the leg bail, but umpire called not out, so it's staying not out. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm going to see you either later today or tomorrow. Hopefully, we've got a bit of play tomorrow. Okay. Enjoy the day. All the best. Don't forget to